adult males hate middle C position, but you have no choice, unfortunately. Let everyone see your pretty face so you can race yourself to answer these questions when you get home, maybe, if you have a chance to watch this. So, today you're learning about the grand staff. It's good to remember the name of it like that, the grand staff, because it'll help you remember the difference between the regular, just a staff, and then what you're supposed to be learning about today.
Okay.
Which is the grand staff. So the grand staff has 4 elements: a treble clef, a bass clef, this curvy bar line, and then the straight bar line, and then the curvy brace.
Can I see those?
Yes. Treble clef, bass clef,
Uh-huh.
bar line, and brace.
Okay.
And so when I say, what makes up the grand staff, or what are the 4 parts of a grand staff, it's treble clef, bass clef, bar line, brace.
Brace. Okay.
The brace lets you know. So like if you're looking at a PVG arrangement, you probably will see another treble clef up here with no brace, and that's what the singer is supposed to be singing.
Oh, okay.
Which is not a part of the grand staff. She needs her own staff, so she knows what notes to sing too. And so thus far you have learned the bass clef and the treble clef separately. Now they have to be joined together because you play both hands at the same time in piano, so each hand needs its own staff. And you've learned what we were just discussing, 3 notes in the bass clef, and then you learned 3 notes in the treble clef. Now for the grand staff we have to learn 3 notes in between the 2 staves, which is why you had to know at the beginning of this unit how to say the plural form of the word staff.
Okay.
Because in piano you have to use 2 staves. Yeah, and so if you push down with your hand the 3 bass clef notes you learned first, and just hold them down, and then the right hand, you can see popped up here the 3 notes between the 2 staves.
B, C, and D.
Yep, that you have to learn now. And those 3 notes look like this and are not a part of the little mnemonic devices we were just discussing a second ago. So I remember these as bobbing B, because B is bobbing on top of the bass clef. Dangling D, because D is dangling at the bottom of the treble clef. And then middle C, which has a line in the middle. And so, unfortunately for you, when you're doing the white flashcards for the 3 notes that come in between the 2 staves, you have to use both hands, not like when you're practicing just the bass clef or just the treble clef notes, because you never know which hand you'll need, because for this note you'll need which hand?
Right hand. Oh no, but I think.
Oh, are you?
Yeah,
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, that one would have been right.
Yeah,
hand.
this would be right hand, yes,
Yeah.
and then this would be
Left hand. It's the bass clef.
And middle C can be played by either hand. So if you have the stem up on the treble clef or the stem is down on the bass clef, that tells you
Which hand?
Yeah, and you really should use the correct hand, even though if you use your left hand to play this middle C, the note will sound the same.
But
there's probably a reason
if the
they
stem's
wrote
up,
it that
would be
way.
the right hand. Though.
Yes, and so you want to kind of be strict on yourself from the outset that you use the correct hand when that hand is indicated, because then you won't have to be making a choice about it later, because that's just your default.
So then, like on this one, I use both on this song.
Yes. From now on, you will almost never play a song with only one staff, because for piano you always use both staves because you have 2 hands.
Yeah.
The only like weird exception is like there are some compositions written only for right or only for left hand. Like there was this famous pianist, I forget his name or where he was from, but he fought in some war in Europe like in the late 1800s and lost one of his hands. And so some composers wrote pieces for him to play with one hand, and you would never guess. You would never guess. They sound so hard.
Bass and treble with like the left hand.
But it's written for one hand only. Yeah. So, anyways, but that's a very like an outlier sort of thing. So, any questions about grand staff?
Nope.
That's the easiest one, honestly, because you've already learned so much about the other 2.
We're learning the other 6 notes.
So now you just put your hands together. Oh, and so middle C is in the middle of the piano, and it's also in the middle between the 2 staves, because this is like where most of the notes are played. And so the grand staff, as they show you on this page, hopefully I'm showing, like you have the 9 notes for level 1 right here. See, they're like right in the middle of the page. And with only one ledger line above and below the 2 staves, you can notate all the way from C2 up here to C6. So like that's a huge part of the piano, only needing one ledger line for middle C, high C, and well, I'm sorry, two ledger lines, sorry, above and below, and then one ledger line in the middle. So that's a really like kind of nice cohesive system. And then usually if you need like this C, you could just write it here and say octave higher for like these notes and those notes, which you rarely use. So
yeah, okay.
Yeah. Alrighty.
So on this one, I'm using both.
Yep.
For middle C.
And you'll be in middle C position a lot now because they want you to practice the 9 notes on the staff you now know. Those are the 9 notes you have to really know thoroughly at the end of level 1, because in level 2 you just start learning 3 more new notes all the way down to base C and so on and so forth. So
I like it. Yeah, I love it. With all right here too. This is kind of weird.